better, but oh, don't want to take the headphones away. Give me one second. All right, so we're back here. As you know, this has been a pretty eventful day. Oh, let me spin this way. I guess that ain't gonna work. Okay, here I am. Okay, so pretty eventful day today. Obviously, the big news today was about the New York City bombing that took place, and I mean, you know, early on, as soon as you hear what it is, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Everybody automatically assumes, we go, oh, let's see, you know, where's this guy from? Is he possibly Muslim? You know, is that possible? I mean, is there anyone else? I mean, when the report came out, it said that there was the guy was wearing a vest with wires coming out of it, and that after we heard that it blew up and it was a vest, I mean, who else does that? Who else does that? So anyway, you know, as far as that goes, and we knew that, and more information's come out, and it says that he chose the location because of its Christmas themed posters, because was inspired by the ISIS Christmas attacks. So you know, this is clearly a war against anyone who isn't Muslim, basically, and they really don't like Jews and Christians. Those are the two people that they really cannot stand and that they want to kill, pretty much. So this guy's name here is, I don't even know, I'm going to probably destroy this name, Akayed Ullah. So that's his name. He's 27. As I reported earlier, and as you know, it wasn't just me, but I heard it from other sources, obviously, that he was an immigrant from Bangladesh who lived in Brooklyn, and let's see, he suffered burns to his hands and abdomen. That's about it. So the guy, I mean, it wasn't even supposed to go off then. It was an accident. You know, we know that now. The report came out. The guy obviously just doesn't know what he's doing, and he was inspired by ISIS. So we have people who are coming into this country. He's, according to all the reports as well, I believe he's been in the country 7 years. He is an immigrant from outside of the country, not a natural-born citizen. And, you know, 7 years ago, we all know who the president was then, and the policies that he put into place to allow these people to really just kind of flood in to the country. So I'm going to run through a few things, guys, and I'm going to see, maybe we'll do some call-ins if you guys want to call in as well. I got a little bit of time, so maybe we'll take some calls if I can, and if we're going to do that, I'll put the number up on the screen. Also, guys, if you notice in the top left corner, there's not too many comments here, but this is coming from our YouTube and Periscope channels. So if you want to have your chat, your comments show up in the actual video, because they will stay there afterwards, go on over to either our YouTube channel or our Periscope channel. Sometimes it gives us a little bit of issues, but just thought I'd let you guys know that, because it's a newer thing we started doing. So this is what we know about this guy, right? And who knows how many people have already come into this country. I'm sure there's a number, but I don't even want to think about that right now, because that's scary stuff. To think that thousands or hundreds of thousands of people are coming in from these countries, who, by the way, you know, you have to also realize that a lot of the countries who have the highest populations of Muslims. Now, I'm not saying that all Muslims are terrorists. Don't take that to say what I'm saying. I have a personal feeling about how I feel, that I don't trust them, but not all of them are going and blowing themselves up. That's a fact. However, when we look at the numbers of Muslims in the world, and also coming from countries who are not on the travel ban list, it's a very staggering number of how many millions of people in there are, are Muslim, that follow Islam, teachings of Islam. Now, even if you think about this, if even just a small percentage, even 1% of the people that we allow into this country turn out to be radicals like this guy trying to blow himself up, that's not good. That's not good. So personally, I think that this has to really be ramped up as far as our security and everything. And Trump's done a good start. He's battled every little step of the way, and finally the Supreme Court ruled that he's allowed to have it the way he had it, because it was not unconstitutional, no matter what these whiny Democrats are out there saying. And no, it's not an impeachable offense either. The Supreme Court backed him on that. Now, we know the Ninth Circuit, the Ninth Circus is actually what most people call it. There's who were the people who initially ruled to put the halt on the travel ban, which, by the way, is already it's overreaching. We've discussed this in the past, but it's far overreaching, and 80% of their cases get overturned by the Supreme Court. So as far as I'm concerned, the Ninth Circuit should just be disbanded because they're completely useless and they're wasting money that, they get paid. Where do they get paid from? So there's that, and also, look at all the other recent events too. What's happened with the sanctuary cities in California, as far as letting with Kate Steinle, this whole thing. I mean, it's when you look around the countries, the most democratic, liberal places are all for these sanctuary cities who want to let more of these kind of people come into this country. So I'm not sure. And again, not all of them are like this person, but when we think about that, like, why in the world, even if you don't support Trump, right? Let's say you don't support Trump and you don't like the guy, whatever, you think he looks like a Cheeto, all that stupid stuff that you people say. Just think about it, okay? This guy just tried to blow himself up in New York City with a vest, who came here from a country where their values in their culture don't align with our Western cultures here. So why would you invite these people in and then give them, to some degree, more rights than the people who are naturally born citizens? They get away with things that a normal citizen could not get away with because they're illegals and because of these sanctuary cities. They have to stop. I mean, this is what the whole thing was about that Billy Sessions was at, and there was also some other people that were there as well, the Freedom Crew. Also, like Joe Biggs and Owen Schroyer was out there. There was a lot of people. I can't, there was a good amount, but it could be larger. But I think we have to figure out a way to get these things out there more, because a lot of people feel the same way as we do, that these sanctuary city policies have to stop, that we need a border wall, plain and simple, that it has to be done, and we have to have much stricter requirements and of a vetting process to allow people into this country. Because this is what happens when you don't. This is another clear example. I mean, and this isn't the only one. Let's look at overseas and see how much of a disaster the places are where they've welcomed all of these people from, these. So we will have this and we will provide this to you guys. And the reason why we want to show this is because this is why not only do we have to go out to these protests and things, like Billy's done, the Highwaymen, Freedom Crew, all these people, but we really have to start showing up locally at these council meetings and so forth, because this is the only way that we're going to take stuff back. We have to show up, because if we see that something's not going the way it should be going, if everybody just just starts talking about it and gets the message out there, something is going to have to happen. It's going to reach someone, or it's going to get large enough where something is going to have to happen. What is happening is these snakes are able to slither through because we don't have enough people showing up to these types of meetings, these city council meetings and that type of thing. There's certain things that even when we've shown up for, which is, these Confederate monuments, saving the monuments, so on and so forth, they've already had the decision made because they're getting money in the back door or whatever the case is. But what we also have to understand here is that this is not the only thing going on in these council meetings, okay? And again, I'm not going to divulge all the details right now because I'm getting all the details, and I don't want to say something that should not be said based on legality and other things as well. But we're going to have this story as soon as possible. I just wanted to give you a heads up to look out for this. And we're going to really have to share this around, guys, because we have to show what is going on, because a lot of people don't know. I mean, this could be going on in your backyard right now, at your city council, at your government level, at your local Republican Party. Most people are not involved at that level where they're able to see what is really going on. And that's to the detriment of everyone, because I feel that, if we can, then we should. It's the only way that we're going to be able to have some type of recourse. If we don't do that, we're giving it to them, because there are people who are going to come in there and cause problems. And not to mention, when you're up against rhinos and establishment politicians, you're talking a lot of money. So all of us, all the patriots, all the people that love this country and that want to see this country go in the direction that it should be going, we're going to have to come together somehow and figure out how to show up to these things to expose it, if nothing else, because we have to expose it. We may not be able to change necessarily what might transpire, but guess what? If we get it out there and we're talking about it and sharing things about these type of things, it's going to have to get addressed at some level. Bottom line, it's going to have to get addressed at some level. So let's see. With that, guys, let me see here. I am going to go ahead and throw up the phone. Let me see if this works. Oh, I might have to move it, probably. No, let's see. You're probably not going to be able to see that there. We'll move it here. Hopefully, you guys should be able to see that there. Okay, so that's the phone number, guys. It's going to be 772-405-7616. We'll take a few calls here. We could talk about the borders, what you feel about, the New York City bomber, the recent protests that's been going on as far as for Kate Steinle, as well as the opposition that's shown up. So feel free to call, guys. 772-405-7616. If somebody wants to throw that up on the screen, on the comments there. Thank you, Kevin. I see that on Facebook. Thank you. And while we're waiting for someone to call in, guys, I want to let you know that if you appreciate streams like this, if you appreciate Billy Sessions going out there, and unfortunately we've had some issues because of Facebook, but we've resolved those issues since. And, he live streams from the events, and we have a lot of other things as well, other people that also live stream. Joe Geneva, we're working on getting a few other people as well. We're looking hopefully to, well, I'm not going to tell you. We're not going to say that, but we'll do that. So go ahead, guys, if you want to give me a ring here, 772-405-7616. I know we got some people. I'm trying to look at what some of these other comments are saying. I know where you stay at and offering to come and see you. Okay, I'm not sure what that's about. But thank you for sharing, guys, as well. Feel free to share this out, guys. But again, what we're talking about tonight is about the New York City bomber, about how that relates to our national security in regards to immigration, all of those policies. We're talking about basically all of the recent events. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. If there's something else you want to bring up as well, who is actually willing to do the news work involved I need? I'm not sure what you're saying here. Who is choosing to report real news? I have mainstream and Facebook drama seekers are ignoring. Okay. Julie, I'm not sure what you're talking about. But if you guys want to talk about something else as well, we got a good amount of people watching here, especially on Facebook. Feel free to give me a call, guys. I'm calling in. Give me a few. All right, sounds good. So anyway, it's a very tragic event what happened today. Not because there were so many injuries or deaths, but just because this is what we're living in right now. I mean, we're living in times when there are a lot of sleepers, is what what they're really referred to. Sleepers who are in the country, who are here, who are waiting for the opportunity or the inspiration from ISIS to act up and commit another act of terrorism. And the people who run these cities are completely disastrous. I mean, de Blasio and Cuomo and all these, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. And, and again, living in the city, the gun laws are ridiculous. So you wouldn't even, not that you would really be able to do much for a guy who blows himself up, because you wouldn't know until it's too late, I guess. But let's say it wasn't that. Let's say it was something else. I mean, some gunman or whoever. I mean, New York does not allow you to defend yourself even with pocket knives or anything inside the city. It's absolutely insane. You're allowed to have a pepper spray, I believe, but they only sell it in certain places like pharmacies. It's not like you can get it in other places. Everything is very, very restrictive, and they're just setting people up to get hurt. Let's see. Hello, stranger. Jeremiah, how are you? Sharon, Gloria, Crystal, Kathy, Steve, how are y'all doing? Travel ban will save lives. Crystal, 100%. I mean, that's the bottom line is even if only 1% of the entire world's population of Muslims are radicals, that's a big number, because you're talking millions of people who are Muslims. Now, unfortunately, they're not willing to do what is necessary to stop it within their own groups. So if they're not willing to address it as a problem and do anything about it, then why does it become our problem? Like, why should we allow those people to come here? We don't know who they are. That's the problem. We don't know exactly who they are. So unfortunately, when you're dealing with people who are doing such things as that, to such extremes, you have to be strict. There is no other option. You cannot be lenient when it comes to things like that, or you're asking for it. You can't say, oh, well, not all of them are like that. Well, I'm saying the same thing. But when somebody is using that as an argument, they are justifying these acts. They're saying that, oh, well, it's okay because not all of them do it. So if it's one every now and then it's okay. I mean, that is essentially what you are saying. What I'm saying is no, it's not okay. It is not okay that these people are coming in. There are plenty of people around the world who can immigrate here legally, where the majority and probably all of the population are not going to strap themselves up with bombs and try to blow themselves up, trying to get themselves 72 virgins who have been inspired by ISIS. Very, very few terrorists that have said that they were inspired by ISIS, if any, that I can recall. Now, I'm not saying it hasn't happened because someone will say, oh, you were wrong. But I do not remember a homegrown terrorist who said that they were inspired by ISIS. So we got somebody calling in here. Yeah, maybe one of the admins. I don't know if they're in here now, but maybe if somebody wants to go on YouTube and take care of it. I mean, I'm not too worried. We get a lot of trolls. If you look at some of the comments on some of the other videos that we get, it happens all the time. And of course, there's always the classic anti-Semite as well, who always likes to have to say something about me being Jewish. You just get used to it. It just rolls off. At one point, I used to get upset about it. Like early on, I was like, oh, and I would try to battle back with every person. Then I just realized, you know what? Screw them. I mean, it's a troll. It's a troll. They're everywhere. So again, guys, if you wanna call in, we appreciate the calls. It's number 772-405-7616. And also, guys, we have on the bottom of the screen here, we have all of our other social media platforms scrolling across the screen. So you can go ahead and like and follow us and all these different things, because right now this stream should be going live on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Gab.ai under the TV section. So we should be live on all of those platforms, because we've had a lot of problems with Facebook recently. It seemed like we've been gone and we disappeared, and some of the people who are patrons for us at our Patreon, patreon.com/Patriot Media, I guess that they thought we weren't. I don't know what they thought, but we're here. We've been trying to fight this the entire time, but Facebook constantly tries to shut us down. I keep having to finding different ways to do it. When it's complicated, but there's different roles on the page, and Facebook has been screwing with the people on certain roles, and I've had to figure out what they've been doing and move everything around. People's accounts have been getting banned. I've been banned. I mean, it's just been one thing after the other. So it's time that we branch out, and we have all these other platforms where you can connect with us, so that way you don't miss any of the streams. We're working on a way to be able to also have our live contributors broadcast on all of them. We have set them up on our YouTube right now. So I would suggest that if you are watching this on any of the other platforms, that you definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, because in the event that we get, shut down again, I mean, we weren't really shut down, but we were shut down because we couldn't really do anything. If you're subscribed to the YouTube, that's probably where you're going to see a lot of the content. Now, we are also on Twitter and Periscope, so you can catch it there. But our live contributors, they don't really have a way for me to have live contributors through the Patriot Media Periscope. So that's why I say YouTube is probably going to be the next place to go. Okay, let's see what we got. Am I the only one having issues watching? It seems to be. Listen, guys, I have checked and had everything checked out as far as, I mean, I didn't know what was happening with Patriot Media. There's been so many things going on with Facebook attacking us and all the liberals attacking us. I've had everything checked out. So the internet connection, I mean, I had them come out. I've covered everything, because I don't want there to have any issues. And I want to be able to stream for you guys and do what we're doing here. Thank you, Cindy. What did she say? Patriot Media rocks. Well, thank you very much, Cindy. You've been So we do have a MeWe as well. Joe's asked, do we have a MeWe? Yes, we do have a MeWe, but we don't really use it, to be honest with you. I just have it just in the event that, I lose access to other things. It's kind of a heavy platform. It's not really streamlined yet. I mean, it's very bulky. So yeah, let's see. So again, guys, if you wanna call in, if somebody wants to throw the number up there again, we'll take some more callers real quick. I've been on for, let's see, about 26 minutes or so. So we'll do it about a half hour, maybe a little longer. I don't want to make it super long, but if you guys want to call in, it's 772-405-7616. And I hope that the sound and everything is like coming through good. Don't mind my tan lines, guys. If you've noticed them over here, I'm outside all day, and I forgot sunscreen on my face for the past few days. So I have a mark for my sunglasses. What you 2 cents on National Republican attached to it? I don't understand. I'm not sure what that question is. Hey, Mickey and Michelle, y'all doing? It's chopping up for me. So I guess it's saying, I don't think I dig the trolls over here. Unfortunately, they're going to be everywhere. They love to come out on Twitter and keep in mind, guys, this is a work in progress here. I don't know how to use any of this stuff. I've taught myself how to use everything, and as we go along, we learn and we get better, and that's like anything. The more you practice, the more you get better. So let's see if the YouTube gets any better. I don't know. Maybe you guys can on YouTube will throw up a comment if it starts to get better here. But let's see. We got any other questions, or maybe YouTube? But we get them on Facebook too. It's just that we're a small staff, so we don't really get to everyone, and sometimes it's good to have some of them. Buffering here, going back to Facebook. Is it really? That's strange. It shouldn't be, but hey, you never know. Sometimes these things give a little bit of problems, but Facebook seems to be going good. Any more callers or any other things here? Can you talk about turnout for January 13th in Austin? We need everyone we can get there. Yeah, actually, you know what? I did want to mention that. I don't know all the details of it because I didn't catch Billy's whole video. I kind of jumped in and so yeah, that's the number right there. 772-405-7616. Excuse me. So actually, I was going to come on live earlier, guys. I just don't have time to watch everything. But there is a event that is being set up right now for January 13th in Austin, Texas. Again, I'm not exactly sure what the entire thing is being called or anything like that, but I do know that it's going out there to take a stand. But Billy Sessions was on, so I didn't want to interrupt with that. He was talking about everything that he was doing. It's good here. Looks good. Sounds good. Awesome. So I guess for the Patriots, I'm sure the Highwaymen will be out there, some Freedom Crew. We really would like to see other people out there who can make it out there, even if it's just for like a half hour, even if you only have a half hour, just come out there for a half hour and say, hey, to the guys and take a stand, just YouTube is having an issue here. Let me try to take this off and see what happens. Keep in mind, guys, this is a work in progress here. I don't know how to use any of this stuff. I've taught myself how to use everything, and as we go along, we learn and we get better, and that's like anything. The more you practice, the more you get better. So let's see if the YouTube gets any better. I don't know. Maybe you guys can on YouTube will throw up a comment if it starts. Hold the flag in your hand. It feels good. Trust me. I wish I could make it out to more things, but they plan all these things on Saturdays. It's the Sabbath for me. I can't do anything, unfortunately. Hopefully there'll be some that aren't on Saturdays that I can make it to, because I'd really love to be there. To get better here. But let's see. We got any other questions? Or maybe we might just wrap it up, guys, if I don't get any more callers or any other things here. Can you talk about turnout for January 13th in Austin? We need everyone we can get there. Yeah, actually, you know what? I did want to mention that. I don't know all the details of it because I didn't catch Billy's whole video. I kind of jumped in and I just don't have time to watch everything. But there is a event that is being set up right now. What are my thoughts? Facebook just cut you off. It looks smooth on my end. There's the event page. Okay, so Brad is saying there's an event page. I don't know it offhand here, but maybe we can get that information out there for you guys. Buffering here too. It's still buffering on YouTube. What is going on with YouTube? Oh, the wrong computer. YouTube is, and it's funny because YouTube doesn't actually usually give me, usually it's always Facebook. Well, so anybody else is watching, if you're on YouTube, you can still watch the video on Facebook without actually having to be joined a part of Facebook. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. And so our site on Facebook is facebook.com/Josh Gemmy. My last name, Gemmi, Patriot Media. So that's how you'll pull it up on Facebook. There'll be a massive turnout against us, and if we don't have numbers, it'll turn very bad very fast. So we need everybody to get out there who can, guys. Got it in time. Yeah, we're live. We love you, Josh. Thank you for Patriot Media. It's big. Well, Kevin, thank you. Thank you guys for sharing and everything. We're trying to grow this, and slowly but surely we are. And we're trying to get you guys stories. Like I said, we're going to have that Patriot Media exclusive that's going to be coming up, and it has to do with corruption in local level. I'm not going to give away the area yet. I'm not going to give away any details until I acquire everything that we'll need here at Patriot Media to provide you with that information. We are here on Periscope. Now I see you on Scope. Great, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully it's coming in okay on Periscope. I'm not sure. Why are we as Americans allowing Democrats to rule our country? That's coming in from Candace on YouTube. Okay, so I mean that's a good question. Why are we? Why are we? I think it's because a lot of, like I've been saying, as far as local level stuff, that's where it starts. That's where it starts, is at the local level. And once you build up from the local level and to the city, to the county, right, to the states, to tri-state, whatever it is that they have going on in the area, tri-county, whatever it is, whatever the different places have, we have to start showing up to those things. We have to start voicing our opinions as citizens, right? We need more people to make live videos. And as silly as that sounds, but the more people who speak out against this kind of stuff, the better. We just need to be very vocal, and we need to be seen. We have to be heard. That's the only way that it happens. And I'm going to be honest and tell you guys that you have to be ready for what comes with that. You'll have people who will come and troll you. You have people who will say extremely ridiculous things to you. They'll try to get you going. They'll try to, lure you in. And, they'll call you every name under the book. Bigot, racist, you support the KKK. I mean, I don't understand. When people tell me that, when they call me a racist or a KKK supporter, I'm just thinking to myself, like, how stupid are you? Like, how stupid are you? Whatever. Let's see. Yep, great feed here on Periscope. Awesome, Jill. Thank you. I like how we have the chat going back and forth, too, because it's kind of cool. Like, the people who are watching on Facebook, anyway, will be able to see all those. And the Periscope and YouTube people can actually kind of comment back and forth if you think about it. It's kind of neat. We've been conditioned to remain silent for far too long. Now we have to stand up together. That's absolutely right, Mickey. People have been groomed to just be silent and accept whatever the government does, accept what happens. And these people, these establishment candidates all across the country at all levels. Because what's happening is in these places, they're being financed by the people above them to control below. It's not going from below to higher. It's going from higher to lower. So what's happening is you have state officials and people who are establishment candidates who are funneling money down the pipe to local candidates and basically trying to strong arm counties. And that's how they win. Like, that's how they win, because then it's a whole thing. Because then they can gerrymander once they get to the next time, and then they can make it so that certain candidates can win, because basically what they do is they redraw the district, right? That's called gerrymandering. And that happens every certain amount of years where they can do that. Personally, I think it's, ridiculous that that's even allowed to take place, but it does. And so this is how we fight back against these things, is that we have to speak out against the local corrupt people so that we can control locally. And then from there, then we'll be able to get to the state, because we'll have different representatives all along the way. And we have to go out and vote, right? We have to go out and vote. Yeah, Trump's in office. Then that's exactly what we wanted. But we need all of these other candidates who are on the Trump agenda, legitimately on the Trump agenda, not rhinos, not establishment candidates. These are the people who we have to go out, support, and vote for. Let's see. Indoctrinated fool, Cindy. That's 100%. Sure, Candace. I saw it. So as I see them, I will try to answer them because we're not getting really anyone to call in. 772-405-7616 is the number, guys. If you want to give a call again, we're really talking about anything. We'll give it a little bit more time, maybe about another 5 minutes or so. And if we don't get calls, we'll call it for the night. Or if we don't get any more questions or whatnot. Let's see. Why don't you call in? What did he say? Cindy, Allentown reelected a mayor who has a known 54-count federal indictment against him. If he completes this new term, which would require him being found not guilty by the feds, he will have 16 years as a mayor. See, this is the problem. Exactly what David said. So that came from David on Facebook. We do not want career politicians. We don't. We want them out. I mean, look, I think that we need to go back to some of the founding principles of this country. I've said this many, many times. Even as far as taxation goes, I don't agree with the way taxation is done now. I think we need to go back to how it was and really how almost every country is. You know, the income tax thing has happened fairly recently in the history of the country, if you think about it. I mean, but anyway, that's a whole other subject. But as far as people for office, it used to be that you would have like a shoemaker, a journalist, like just random different citizens, that they would become the representatives and they would go in and they would leave. It was never this, I'm in office for the rest of my life thing. It's not. There's term limits for so many other things. I'm not really understanding why we're not able to apply term limits to all these other positions. I think it should be done. Alabama needs to vote more. I agree. 100%. I agree. You know, we have to. And you can almost tell like who, when you hear all these, bogus reports, like all these people, these accusations coming out about Trump are so ridiculous. They're so ridiculous. And they're doing that to anyone who is a candidate on the Trump agenda. They want them all out. Like, this is an all-out attack. This is an all-out attack. Now, you have like we saw in Texas, the Red Guard, which is something that I'm because apparently they're not all over yet, I guess. And they are like, supposedly they're like worse than Antifa to some degree, but they're both kind of the same in my book. But from what I've heard, they're a little bit more out there, I guess, when it comes to, and I know that's hard to believe, but over Antifa, but both of these groups are not good. And, we have to make sure that we take stands when we can, for sure. Looks like somebody might be calling in here. Let's see.
From? Yes.
This is Josh. Who's this?
Josh, this is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. How you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, I just wanted you to maybe talk a little bit about these Trump accusers that are coming out that are backed by Soros.
Well, so these accusers, I mean, not only that, but they're totally being funded by people on the left, whether it's Soros, whether it's Hillary, whether it's any of these people, because they're trying to see. This is what they usually do, though. They point the finger and say you're doing this when it's really them doing it. And we've seen this time and time again, that every time that these people come out and accuse other people of sexual accusations, more and more people on the left get exposed for being...
And threaten people and not let them, and stop them from doing their First Amendment right.
Oh, okay, right, for sure. So basically...
What happened to meeting yesterday in Austin? I got upset about that. They stop people from doing that. I don't understand that, but I can get arrested for yelling at my neighbor for disturbing the peace.
Right. So
and I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, thanks for calling, man. I'll address that right now for you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate what you do.
Thank you for supporting us. So why is Antifa allowed to brandish firearms? Well, that's a good question. Especially when they have covered faces. I mean, what's the difference between that and a bank robber, except for they're not robbing the bank, but yet they're trying to force their will on law-abiding citizens who are out there peacefully assembling, which is what you're allowed to do. The answer is because the left the left, pretty much as a whole, is completely intolerant of anything that goes against their views. Now, we've seen that across the board. We've seen that with every single person on the left, the way they act. They're not really open to civil discourse, and Antifa is really just a product of the indoctrination of our kids that's been happening over the course of many, many years. I've said this before on the live, but there's a video. If you haven't seen it, if you're on Facebook, it's on Facebook. It's also on our YouTube channel. There is a video that I did about a program called CNN 10, which is a program that they show in schools to kids in like middle school or high school, talking about current events. We all know CNN is fake news. And so they are indoctrinating the kids in school, number one, with fake news, and number two, to believe CNN. So when they leave, I mean, unless the parents at home, right, are political, because not everybody is political. We're political, and we like this stuff, because if you're watching this, you're into this kind of thing, and because you understand the importance of it. Well, there's a lot of people who are zombies in this country, for lack of a better term, who literally just go to work, come home, pay the bills, buy stuff, and repeat that cycle. You know, maybe they'll go on a vacation, but they're not interested because they've taken it for granted what this country has to offer. Now, in the case of Antifa, they're being brought up and indoctrinated to believe that socialism is a better option than a democracy, a capitalistic, republic is really what it is. We're not a straight democracy. We're a democratic republic, okay? And so they're teaching these kids these things. You know, you have every single outlet really that controls media, now whether it's Hollywood or whether it's news, newspapers, movies, this is all controlled by the left. So you have kids from a very, very young age that are watching all these movies, whether it be Disney or whatever, and they slip their little messages in there. And then as they get older, through school, you have all of these teachers who are leftists, who are teaching the kids, who are showing them this CNN type garbage, and then actually making, it's not enough that they try to brainwash them by making them watch it. Then they actually make them do assignments on this stuff. So they make them do assignments. And if you don't do it, then it affects your grade, right? And they ask these questions that are so like one way. I mean, this stuff is really all over the internet, but I made a video exposing this CNN 10 because it's important, because a lot of you people out there who are watching probably have kids, and probably have kids that go to the public school system. Now, this is not across the board of public schools, because they're all operated in different, you know, through districts and states and counties and all that. Now, but it is being pushed even in places like Texas. All of this stuff, you know, this Islam, teaching them Islam, and they tried to even get a prayer room in a school not that long ago in Texas. And this is where I actually got turned on to the subject about this CNN 10, because it was someone who told me that they pulled their kid out of school because of it. Because they don't have to go send a waiver, you know, for you to sign to say like it's okay to show them that. They just have free reign to show your kids whatever they want. So this is where it starts, because it starts young, and then when they get to college, forget it. When they get to college age, and you're talking about, you know, the universities that are around the country now that are completely left-wing, completely just, it's like a factory. Like they just try to make, you know, leftists and you know, progressive liberals, which they don't even know the history of a progressive. That's a whole nother discussion as well. But anyway, let me see if I can get some more comments here. Sorry. Every TV show lacks so many morals. Yup, you're right. Well, thank you, Joe, for that. CNN 10. Yes, yes, Mickey. That's what it's called. It used to be called Student CNN. Now it's called CNN 10. It's basically a 10-minute clip. But again, if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll scroll down and you'll see something. It says something about how they're trying to like brainwash your kids or something like that is the title of it. And it's the screenshot is like a building in Russia. So you watch that. It's a compilement from a while ago of different clips of CNN 10 that I put together to show you guys what is actually happening. And if you haven't seen that, you definitely want to see it and make sure that you share it, because it's going on now as we speak. Antifa isn't just here in America. That's true. I don't understand why they're called a domestic terror group when they originated years ago across the ocean. They're a worldwide terror group. Brad, that's also true. That's also true. Yeah. They are in other countries. They are in other countries. So to some degree, you are right that it is a worldwide terror group. The thing is what they do is they're not the same as like radical Islamic terrorists in the fact that they're not like going and chopping people's heads off, but they're trying to basically shut people's First Amendment rights down, like what was just said. And the reason is because if they can demonize you and make you look bad and you're a Nazi and you're this, and this is what they're all being told, and a lot of them are being paid. A lot of them are being paid. And then there's a lot that aren't, that are just completely brainwashed and are just out there because they've been brainwashed to the point where they really believe that they're fighting fascists. So they go out and they, for whatever reason, think that they have a right to stop other people from because they qualify it as hate speech and that they want to end hate speech, which is a load of BS. I agree we can see the outcome of major influence from a serious motive. The masks need to go. I agree with you 100%. So we got, let's see, I'm trying to see some of these things here. Thanks, Josh, no problem. All right, guys, so I mean, I've been on about 48 minutes. We took a few calls, and I really appreciate you guys calling in. We will definitely do this more often. Like I said, I am newly married, so we're still working things out. We're still getting furniture. We're still, there's a lot to be done. Hold on one second, guys. I'm trying to read this because somebody looks like they left me a voicemail and I missed the call here. In fact, I believe the American people need to start locally getting involved locally to know if you guys do something new. If you got to do something, if you can't go to the rallies, get involved with politics at least. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to read this. I'm gonna have to hear it another time. I'm gonna have to hear that another time. But I'm really appreciating all your guys' comments and sharing and call-ins and everything like that. We really want to do this more often because I think it's important because we are Patriot Media and we're for the people, by the people. We want to hear what the people have to say. I mean, this is why we're doing it, because this is the voice of the people. We're trying to tell everyone how we feel. Because I'm not some big corporation. I'm not being, funded by massive people. We're not the mainstream media. We're just some guy, right? I'm just some guy in where I live, setting stuff up, trying to broadcast a message, trying to make a platform for people to get their message out. And that platform is us. All background and get this stuff out to the people. Head on over to patreon.com/Patriot Media. You guys can do $1 a month and it helps us out. If we could get a bunch of people to do $1 a month, that'll put us in a much better position to be able to really try to amplify this. And again, follow us on all of our social media down here, guys. We got Gab.ai, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, blah, 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 blah. All of them. We're trying to do, I even got Snapchat. I don't use it that much, but I have Snapchat too. So I'm trying to do it all. It's kind of tough, but we got some great people working behind the scenes. They deserve a big thumbs up and hearts, guys. So throw up those hearts. We've got Jen, Jersey, Jamie, and of course everybody here at the Patriot Media crew. We thank you guys. So if you like what we do here, keep throwing those hearts up and likes. Make sure you share. And again, guys, patreon.com/Patriot Media. Take it easy.